After the historic election in 2016, all eyes turned to down-ballot races and, of course, gubernatorial competitions, some often seen as predictors for the 28 midterms. Experts have their eyes on two upcoming primaries, one in New Jersey and one in Virginia. In New Jersey, voters will be replacing Governor Chris Christie, who at one point was seen as a top up-and-coming Republican presidential candidate from a historically blue state. Today, his approval ratings are the lowest in the country. But will that hurt the GOP frontrunner in the state? Here to break it all down, the director of UVA Center for Politics, Larry Sabato. Larry, thank you for joining us, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I want to start with that first question. When you look at New Jersey, because I do want to start with New Jersey and then sort of head south, do you think that low approval rating is going to hurt the GOP frontrunner, which, by the way, is the lieutenant governor of the state?
Yes, it's inevitable because she's tied, Kim Guadagno is tied directly to Chris Christie being his lieutenant governor. By the way, she's the first lieutenant governor in history in New Jersey. They just recently created that position. But because she is so tied to Christie and Christie is so unpopular, I think inevitably she will suffer somewhat. But let's remember, it's a long time to November, and we'll have to see how the Democratic nominee does.
Right.
So probably it's going to be Phil Murphy, who has never run for office before, a major office before.
Okay, but I do want to ask you, because she has spent 7 years in the circuit, but if I'm not mistaken, local reports say she's fairly popular with business owners. Yes, she's been in his shadow, but she can boast, listen, he may not be popular, but we have an improved economy. And you look at Phil Murphy, who doesn't have that experience, and he's just spending a ton of money, and a lot of it his own money. But can you buy yourself an election if you have no political experience?
Well, you can. We've seen lots of people do it, but I think what she has to do is have people focus on her. She has to create an image and a reality that enables her to shake off both Chris Christie's unpopularity there, and of course it's a blue state and Donald Trump isn't popular there. Right. She's got to make it about her and about Phil Murphy in order to win. Right now, Murphy is considered the front runner, but as I said, it's a long time to November.
Okay, before I get to Virginia, we saw former Vice President Joe Biden say this is the single most important state that Democrats must win. Why? Why is New Jersey so important?
I don't know why he said that. I could make an argument it's actually Virginia, but you know how politicians are. They go into a state and they say this is the most important state and the most important election in history.
Okay, well, I don't live in New Jersey, but I bought it. You brought up Virginia because this is obviously a state that everybody looks at. It's after the presidential election. They say it could be a predictor for the midterms. We're seeing two Democratic candidates that really represent sort of the Bernie Sanders versus the establishment. And I want to ask you, what's your take on this particular race? Because if you dig into it, it's pretty fascinating.
This one is not only fascinating, it's close and competitive, and it's really going to depend on which one of these candidates is able to generate the largest turnout among their supporters. I don't know that it's Sanders versus establishment as much as it's national Democrats versus state Democrats.
And the national Democrats are supporting the Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, is that correct?
No, the National Democrats are supporting Tom Perriello, a former one-term congressman. Why are they doing that? He is more liberal. He is the Sanders people choice. A lot of Obama aides have endorsed him. The president hasn't, although Perriello has an ad up from when he was in Congress and Obama visited and endorsed him. It kind of looks like Obama's endorsed him for this race, although that's not true, at least to this point.
And Perriello,
so the National Democrats are for him. The state Democrats are for the Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam. They know him. He's been in the state Senate. He's been Lieutenant Governor. They think he's more focused on state issues.
Okay, so we have not a career politician versus a party establishment who's been canvassing the state in a strategy that many would say has worked in the past. So it is pretty interesting. June 13th is the primary. All eyes will be on Virginia. So thank you, Larry. We appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.